Thanks to longtime subscriber Checkmate for many great comments, including this one about the Australian Defence Force qualification program. I was a member of a military marksmanship team for 20 years, which included cross-training with other nations' marksmanship programs. That included Australia. Here's what I learned. The Australian Defence Force uses a tiered approach to their small arms training and qualification. While ADF members will point out their approach is not perfect, nothing ever is, it offers significant advantages over the typical American qualification approach. The F-88 Aussteiger is the standard individual weapon of the ADF and the one weapon everyone uses during initial training. The ADF training model is similar for all weapons, and the specific nature of that training depends on the individual's roles. The Army Individual Readiness Notice dictates that all members of the ADF are to be assessed on their individual weapons proficiency every 6 months. This consists of at least passing a weapons training test and live fire for their respective weapon, which is grouping practice. The AIRN requirement ensures that all soldiers are able to handle and fire their weapons safely, but does not necessarily prepare soldiers for operational shooting. The minimum shooting standards for non-combat units include personnel passing the AIRN requirement, which is live fire 1 biannually, and completing the basic marksmanship proficiency practices annually on the WETS, the WTSS, that's Weapon Training Simulation System. The advantages of the WTSS is that it can be used frequently. It saves travel time and requires no ammunition. Live firing is limited to LF2, zeroing practice, and LF6, which is application of fire practice, annually. Combat arms and competition shooters shoot additional courses at higher standards. ADF training consists of 3 stages: weapon qualification, all-corps marksmanship proficiency, and advanced marksmanship proficiency. Weapon qualification requires soldiers to pass a weapon training test and a qualification shoot. Passing this stage is a prerequisite for progression to marksmanship proficiency training. All-corps marksmanship proficiency consists of grouping, zeroing, and application of fire practices. At a minimum, successful completion of this means the individual can engage stationary humanoid target up to about 300 meters away, give or take. Depending on the positions, this can also add supported and unsupported at different ranges, deliberate and rapid techniques from a variety of firing positions, and moving targets up to 100 meters with a hit probability needed of 70%. This is the maximum standard achieved by the majority of soldiers. Advanced marksmanship proficiency is the final stage and consists of more advanced skills such as firing in bursts, snap shooting, shooting on the move, and individual and team battle shooting. Generally, only soldiers of Arms Corps participate in this advanced level of training. This also includes all the competition courses for the top shooters in the military. Top shooters identified with high scores in LF6 can earn a slot to go to ASAM. That's the Australian Army Skill at Arms meeting, which is their national shoot. It'd be the equivalent of all Army in the United States. The rundown of range practices go from 25 meters zeroing, and then live fire 1, live fire 2, live fire 3, and then 4, 5, and 6. 25 meters zeroing practice involves firing at a static target just at 25 meters to do nothing more than establish an initial zero on paper. LF1 and LF2 practices involve engaging static targets out to 100 meters just from the prone position. LF3 involves engaging static targets to 200 and 300, again only from prone. LF4 involves engaging static targets from 100 to 200 from varying firing positions. LF5 adds moving targets and shooting from kneeling, etc. LF6, much more involved. This involves engaging static and moving targets from different firing positions at 100, 200, and 300 meters, all under more tightly timed conditions. Live Fire 6 is used as a qualifying shoot for ADF personnel that want to compete in ASAM. That's the Australian Army Skill at Arms meeting. For basic qualification, it's just scored hit or miss. During the competition, interior scoring rings are used to discern higher level marksmanship abilities. In the United States, everyone that's shot combat matches or service conditions matches will recognize this as RI 3250, or used to be match 321. This is now called the forward assault match. So it includes a variety of snapshots on figure 11, figure 12 targets from 25 meters out to 300 meters. Key takeaways here is the ADF is more concerned about making the training relevant to the individual. Unlike the United States, where we use one qual course for everybody, which is quite frankly a mistake, the ADF breaks this up into multiple live fire exercises. Reserve personnel serving an admin role do almost nothing more than just do a basic group and shoot. That's it. Get a group, zero the rifle, call it good. If you're active duty combat arms, you can and should be spending more time on this. But they're not pretending everyone has the time or ability to do all this stuff. The Australians do a better job at avoiding the task force Smith problem, where everyone is qualified, well, at least according to records, when it turns out that most folks aren't as good as the fictional accounting systems say. That's why I think a tiered approach like the ADF is definitely superior, and I'm glad I had an opportunity to learn about it.